Yeah, no, that's the truth. You know, I had some basic skills in terms of, excuse me, we'll have to ring, wouldn't it? I had some basic skills in terms of navigating and understanding tidal conditions and stuff, but in terms of handling a vessel this size, and understanding how the B&G system works as well. You know, you made me feel confident using a VHF radio, because I only passed my course a week before you came on board, so that was quite kind of new. But I think I've done all the VHF.
You've done all the VHF, right from day one, yeah.
Yeah, and I've got confident with not being afraid to use the VHF radio. I've done quite a lot of the plotting, the route plotting the courses on the B&G, which I didn't know how to do.
Yeah, well, basically you've done all of it. I've helped you get going.
I mean, you've had to address me in quite a few areas where my brain doesn't remember everything because there's too much going on. To look at the tidal information, make sure you know what depth of water we've got above chart datum, understanding. And I know the difference between springs and neap tides and the variation in water speed and heights and stuff. But no, it's been really good, and also some of the points that you've picked up where we would think the tide's doing one thing in a certain area because we're told that by the data, but actually you've said that won't necessarily be the case when we get there because of the way the land shape is. And again, you think you're going to be fighting a current from the starboard side, and actually you've got it on the nose or something.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff it's practical sailing. So as much theory and as much information we've got about weather, we've got about tide. It's actually
an estimation, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're doing our reconnaissance, and we're seeing what the wind and tide and all the elements are doing when we're there.
Well, I remember actually when we came out of
no fixed pitches. Sorry, no fixed pitches. What I'm saying. Yeah.
When I came out of Portland Harbour, actually came out the three entrances in the big Portland Harbour. We came out of the one that's I can't remember if it's the east one there. But anyway, I wanted to open up the Genoa, do you remember? And you said, no, let's wait until we get out there, because this wind could be doing something totally different. And when we got out, my God, we needed to leave it on a first reef because it was so gusty out there.
Yeah, and that's just a little bit of experience, but we need to learn by our mistakes as well. So hopefully during the week, I let you make mistakes so you could see.
Yeah, you did.
You could see. Okay, So probably shouldn't have done that, but at no time when it would damage the boat or put us in any danger.
I've also learned from you a lot more about going downwind and going with the wind. Understanding, the boom will, bounce from one side to the other if we're getting into an accidental jibe. In fact, we even put a preventer on, didn't we, at one point? So you showed me how to preventer up the boom. Because of the angle on the wing could be precarious, and if it did shift round, we don't want that boom flying the other side. And unfortunately on this boat you can't get the boom round in a far enough position sometimes to stop an accidental jibe from occurring, because you end up with the mainsail hitting the shroud, don't you? So the boom's quite close into the back.
Our shroud's quite far back, and our spreaders are swept quite far back.
Yeah.
So we can't get the main out really far. So we are limited, but we've learned a lot about the boat. We've learned a lot about sailing. We've learned a lot about the systems. We've learned a lot about manoeuvrability.
Yeah.
So basically, we're pretty much on our way, and it has helped in that Gary has done he's watched a lot of sailing videos.
Yeah.
He's followed a lot of people around the world. So as I've showed him things during the week, it's clicked. It really has clicked, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. The whole thing's kind of come together as a really nice package, because I had experience in all of these little fields, but not a great amount of experience. But putting it all together the way we have, and understanding how this boat manoeuvres on top of that, I think what we was trying to achieve out of these 10 days is surpass that. And on top of that, we had fantastic weather, really good weather. So as a summary and just as a conclusion, in terms of learning and in terms of the week, do you feel like the week's been a chore? No, it's actually been like a pleasure. It's been like a holiday. It's been like a knowledgeable holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it has, isn't it?
It has, mate.
For absolutely.
And we get on really well and bounce off of each other really well, and we have a bit of a giggle and a bit of a laugh. So, although it's been serious, it's not been that Royal Yachting. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Yeah. It's not been that. It's not been that Royal Yachting Association type course, is it? Where it's a bit more stricter. This has actually been a little bit open to interpretation a bit more.
From my perspective,
Well, 1-on-1, I think it's been great. Absolutely.
From my perspective, I come from the real world, and the real world is the purpose of understanding how to manoeuvre and sail this boat is to get ourselves to beautiful places and get ourselves there safely.
Yeah.
Keep our family and friends safe.
Yeah.
So we need to know the theory, but the reason we need to know the theory and understand the practices is for an outcome. So it wasn't like a school week, was it?
No, there was times it was a bit like a school week, but it needed to be. No, it's true. But it needed to be. There were things that I couldn't quite get in my head, so you had to sort of sit down and quite a few times you've done some drawings for me as well, if you remember, just to get the knowledge clear in my mind. So there were times when it was a bit like a teaching exercise, but very minor.
Well, not minor in terms of the information, but hopefully the way I brought it across was not like a scoring. It was very much focused on the practical.
I would say if there's anybody out there that that buys a new boat, that wants somebody to come on board and get to work on understanding the systems, give them decent training, anybody that's got a boat that wants it moved anywhere around the world, I would be strongly recommending you and your services. So, and you're not just somebody that gets on board and says, right, this is what I'm here to do. You go beyond that as well with the duties of. I mean, you've made most breakfasts. We've shared a little bit, but you're straight out there making coffee. You're out there washing the boat. You're out there bringing the sails down, stacking the pack away. As much as you're still allowing me to do it and learn from it, you're equally happy that when the sailing duties are done for the day, it doesn't end there. Bringing the boat in, getting the power connected, making sure the power's on correctly, monitoring the water. Yep, we need to fill. Just every part of being an owner of a boat is how you've gone about this last 10 days, as if you were the owner of this boat and thinking outside of what your duties are in terms of, because you offer a service and we pay you for that service, but you go beyond that without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, there's not necessarily anywhere where you can run to when you're on someone's boat for 10 days, so you're basically on it anyway, but you can run to shore and go into some of these restaurants and be lazy, but you're not. You're actually part of it all the way through, right the way until that light goes off to go to bed,
I appreciate that, but I mean, my motivations are to see my students, my friends, achieve their dreams and achieve it safely, and your success is my success.
Definitely,
that's really what it's all about.
And I think now, when we get ready to go in 7 weeks' time to take this down to the Med, I am going to feel very, very confident and able of doing what I need to do. And I think by the time we've probably spent 4 or 5 weeks down there, maybe if we can get a little bit of Balearics in and do maybe a little bit of island hopping down there for a few days before we go over to Cartagena, I think with these next few weeks that are going to come up soon, I think I should be able to say I will be able to take complete control of my own vessel, which is really what we've needed from you.
Safely take control, and not be one of those people that are throwing lines at people on the dock. Putting on the dock, kissing the dock, being very calm, looking after your crew, because that's a big thing we've done this week, isn't it?
Saying that as well, go slow, look after the crew.
Looking after our crew. And I honestly, Gary, I think it's going to be, for whoever comes with you, your family, your friends, I think they're going to be safe, and it's going to be an absolute pleasure to be on board with you. And honestly, I've had a fantastic week, and I've really appreciated everything you've done for me, as well as what I've done for you. It's a shame the 10 days has come to an end.
We're going to be back on board in 6-7 weeks, so lovely.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. That was lovely. That was really good, mate.